Hey, what's up, traders? Did you guys have a good weekend? I hope you guys did. It was a nice South Florida weekend here. Didn't do a whole lot, but just want to touch on the majors and what I think is important here going into this week, mostly going into tomorrow with the CPI. So I know the overall global macro, the traditional markets aren't really correlated to Bitcoin, but it's going to be more and more important as we go forward. But it's just good for those of you that want to trade other markets and just start to learn how everything's connected. Um, you got to start paying attention to the things like the dollar and kind of the risk on assets are doing. I mean, Bitcoin has been trading more with, I would say, riskier assets like stocks versus something what they call flight to quality, which would be more traditionally treasuries, the dollar, obviously. When riskier assets get sold off, the dollar goes up, both in terms of purchasing power and also just the overall rise in the FX market. So, um, anyhow, yeah, let's just get right into it. Let me shrink this for you guys here while I yap. Um, well, let me hit on Cardano real quick. I really like, we just had a nice 18% pop off the lows. We took a little bit of profit this morning just on our last round of buying. Overall, this position is out of the money, but um, these last two buys have been much more aggressive relative to where we were months ago. I mean, we stayed out of this fray. We sidestepped a lot of this weakness. We've been very patient. So all these series of lower highs here. Now, what's nice about Cardano at these levels is you know where your backstop is, which is zero. So you can work your position knowing that whatever you're willing to lose for this thing to go and stay at zero, that's where your risk is. So it's not like you got to work a position and you're getting aggressive up at something that's trading at 15 and it can fall all the way to zero. You know where your floor is. So all you got to do is determine, all right, if and when I get up my max position on, how much am I willing to lose? That's where you work into your average cost, and we can get it nice and low and near the market. So this is one I want to really actually be aggressive on. I think this is a name that's probably going to be one of the leaders this year once we do kind of this market does turn around or this particular token changes its cycle and starts making higher highs again. Um, Anything's possible. Could this coin go to zero and stay at zero? Of course it can. Um, I think that probability is very low given the project and you know the technology that's actually behind this effort. So, but the key is we're still making lower lows and lower highs. So when you buy something that's making lower lows, there's a little bit of art to how you work the position. But these last two ads have been pretty aggressive, and I'm actually wanting the market to take one more leg down. So between 15 and 5 cents, I'm going to really start to work the position. And I'd like to get some heavier ads and get a nice low average cost basis. And I'm going to do that all in real time for my subscribers. And you guys know this is one that we've really been focused on. So that was the move today. It was a bounce to a lower high. And if we do get another dip on the hourly and 4 hour, I'd like to see another lower low to add back pretty again, which uh, some decent size relative to what we were adding up here above 30. Uh, just to hit on the majors, got Bitcoin here. We had a pretty good call. I don't know why the signals aren't showing on this chart. It didn't save, but you can see it in futures a little bit better, actually, our call. So, the market's still making long-term lower highs. 12,000 remains the major pivot that the market couldn't get above. We failed at both of these cycles. And then we've been waiting all of last week for this cycle to come down. Now, obviously, it's low, it's there, it just hasn't quite turned up. It's worth noting that we didn't get a weekly close below the 200. All right, we did have one daily close last week below it, and we came right back up. So the market's kind of stuck on the 200 here. That's obviously a moving average that 90% of the traders are going to have on their chart. So there's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy there, and that's fine. We just got to be aware of is what it is. Now we have the 8 that's still declining. That's showing you the intermediate term downtrend. So we're having to contend with that. That's part of the reason why we made some sales this morning. We've been shorting a little bit on the future side as a hedge, so we made another call, sell signal up here, and we had a nice subsequent drop all of today. So I know some of my traders sold it. It was a good call, made some money. And from here, I'm just going to stay with this. I mean, this is a series of lower highs. So although I like Bitcoin longer term, that cash position I've taken down by half, just patiently waiting. I like having cash down here. You don't need to be in a hurry. And then I like hedging on the short side if you can, whether it be in some of these other exchanges and or you're doing something like futures. But you can see that the pie line's still descending here on the 4 hour. That's very indicative of a bear market. So we've had some nice sales here. You know, short cover, sold, cover, and we actually went long down here in front of 9,300, first time down, came out, went short again, and just been adding to that. It's going to be the same here on Litecoin and Ethereum. We're still making lower highs with zero momentum. So now you've had Litecoin actually bottom here with the cycle. I should say the cycle has bottomed. Price is still is not making higher highs, which doesn't give me any confidence that this thing is really ready to go on another bull run. We could easily just slide back here towards the support levels where the market held in February. So I'm being patient on Litecoin. Not a lot of trading there. Just is what it is. Same thing on Ethereum. So we'll see if we do fail at the 8 and we take one more leg down to test the support again from the low that the market made in February, then that's a place to add. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for and being patient. Now, if we get above the 8 and the hourly and 4 hours start to look better, then I'll look for, dips to buy at location for higher lows on those respective time frames. But right now, you just don't have. And then lastly, just on the general overall markets. So over here, this is S&Ps. This was the big move down that everybody concerned and worried, and where the volatility blew out here in January, February. You've since bounced to the top end of the intermediate term range. So if you've been buying any of these dips, we were selling puts down into 150 on like Apple down here and buying the market coming out of it. Now we tightened that up with some puts. Same thing. You can own the stock, maybe write some upside calls, but this is where you'd want to be writing upside calls and or buying the slightly out of the money puts is a great way to play it. Being that this cycle here is high on the daily, you're high within the intermediate term range. And then lastly, I'll just cover the dollar real quick. So when you look at the DXY, that's mostly made up of the euro. So I'm just going to cover that. Euro's stuck here in between. You can draw a regression channel right through this 4-hour chart. And you can kind of see that this is one standard deviation. 2 standard deviations probably does a little bit better of a job. Yeah. Top of the range, top of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range. We're sitting right in the middle, guys, going into the number tomorrow. So most of the street, you look at the futures and options positioning, everyone is long the VIX, short the Dow, and short treasuries. And everyone has a lot of inflation expectations, but they're going to be looking at the data that's coming after oil is rolled over. And so we're going to probably get some of those numbers tomorrow. So I wouldn't be surprised that inflation comes in lower than everybody's expectations. And you should see rates come down a little bit on that. Maybe bonds rally a little bit. And maybe some dollar weakness. So I'm being a little bit patient on reshorting the euro here. We do have a daily cycle that's come down, but the highs we had a little bit better location to sell yesterday. Now we're right in the middle, so the edge isn't as good. But we'll see. I don't like to try to guess on the numbers too much. It's just a good idea to have a feel for the backdrop and what the positioning's like, because then you can kind of plan. I mean, I don't want to be aggressively short here in the middle if I get a knee-jerk reaction the other way tomorrow and we have the euro back up with that dollar weakness. So that's what I would be looking for, and then selling in to these levels up here tomorrow. So that'll see. And then we also have some European inflation data with Germany, and that's been my opinion that growth is still good in the U.S. Inflation is okay, but when we look at Europe, we have growth slowing on the margin when you look at the cycle, and then we also have no inflation anywhere. So if anything, Draghi is going to have to go back to his old playbook. The guy's never going to be able to stop buying bonds. He's in the box as far as that's concerned. He can't afford rates going higher. So I think there's a good chance that 125 on the euro is going to be it for a while. And if anything, he's going to move back towards more dovish, which should be bearish for the euro as well. So that's how we're going to play it. If I'm wrong, my risk is above 126. So I'll have to readjust if we get above there. But in the meantime, we've been playing a course short, and we've had several good trades here, uh, around that theme. So anyway, guys, hope this helps, and I'll be seeing some of you in the live room tomorrow. If you're not familiar with me or what we do, jenkinsrm.com. This is our website, one of them. This is where we do a lot of education. All my training on my model is here. If you want to join our chat room, that's free to join here. And then we have a paid room within inside of our chat it's only $100 a month. That's for all our trade signals and research and videos, for our crypto subscribers. That's right here. And then just some other things that we're building for the future. Block Edge Capital. It's our digital asset management firm, and then we're currently on a pre-sale basis. Soon, hopefully, here to have some new updates on our Rhythm trading platform, where we're building a cryptocurrency digital asset trading platform made to just be a one-stop shop for those getting into crypto, for those that want assets managed. We'll have a media channel within there. We're also doing some things on the technology side that I'm excited about, where no more will you have this disjointed market where you're forced to have several wallets and trade across a plethora of exchanges, always having to move capital on to dollars, back to moving your position onto the exchange, back off the exchange into your wallet. The whole process needs to be streamlined. So we have some ideas that we call bring your own wallet, allow you to get a signal, get some research, some analysis, make a trade recommendation, execute, and then deliver via the smart contracts through the Ethereum blockchain, right? The crypto right back into your own wallet. So that's the bring your own wallet feature. So anyway, if anybody's interested in that, again, we're in a private pre-sale, so I guess that's all I really have to say there. Anyway, guys, have a great rest of your trading day and evening. I'll talk to some of you in the morning.